Hello, welcome back, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. From today on, we are starting the subject soil mechanics or geotechnical engineering. So, the first question, why is this subject important? If we consider study wise, this subject tells us about the engineering properties of the soil, which should be known to all the civil engineers, as the foundation of the structure is very important, which lies within the soil, and many other things also. So let's start with the subject. The first part that we are starting of the subject is properties of the soil. But before seeing the properties of the soil, let's see what is soil. Basically, soil is nothing but a unconsolidated crust of the earth, which means soil is nothing but made up of solids and voids. So, if we consider soil as a volume denoted by V, then it can be simply divided into two parts, which is solids, volume of solids, and voids, volume of voids. This volume of voids can be filled with any two or both of these following things, which are water or air. So if we want to simplify this, even we can say that total volume of soil is equals to volume of solids plus volume of voids, whereas volume of voids can be volume of water or volume of air or both. So moving on to the properties of the soil, let's see some definitions which are very important to understand the properties of the soil. First, let's see that concepts to understand the properties of the soil. The first one is the water content. So what is water content of the soil? Water content is nothing but the volume of water or the weight of the water that the volume of voids contained in it. Water content simply tells us that if the soil is saturated, that means if the soil is have some amount of water or not, or it is completely dry, saturated, or completely submerged. So formula for the water content is weight of water to the weight of solids, and as it is represented in percentage, that's why we multiply by 100. The range which may the water content of the soil vary differs from 0 to infinity. Now the range which I am telling about is very important from the exam point of view, because in many exams the simple question has came such as what is the range of the water content, means what is the range that water content of the soil can vary? So the answer will be 0 to infinity. So why 0 to infinity? Because we all know that water content in the soil may vary from 0 to any number, whereas the weight of the solids in the soils simply cannot be 0. Hence, if we put the volume of water as 0, the answer will be 0, and if the weight of the water is infinity, the answer will be infinity. Hence, these ranges from 0 to infinity. The next term is void ratio. So, void ratio can be defined as volume of voids present in volume of solids. So guys, why do we need void ratio? Void ratio simply tells us the percentage amount of the voids present in a volume taken of a soil. So the void ratio ranges from 0 to infinity. The same as that of the water content. Void ratio does not have upper limit, but this is more of a theoretical. If we see practically, then the maximum amount that is possible for the void ratio is 0.91, and the minimum that is possible is 0.35. This is again a very important term to remember. Because the maximum and the minimum value of void ratio has been asked in several exams, such as previous year GATE, WRD, previous year WRD question, and the next thing that is important about the void ratio is void ratio of fines, means the void ratio of fine soil will always be greater than void ratio of coarse soil. This question is not asked for the diploma level exam, guys, but it may come anyway. So I think this is important to remember. Third property is porosity. Porosity and the void ratio is very similar to each other. The definition of porosity can be defined as the volume of voids present in total volume of the soil. Now if we see the definition of the void ratio, it says it's the total amount of volume of voids present in the volume of solids, and in porosity we take total volume, not the volume of solids. That's the only difference. And the range of porosity varies from 0 100%. That means where porosity can vary from 1 to 99. As I am not giving the less than or equal to sign here, that means 0 and 100 are not included in it. Important note point, we can note here that void ratio and porosity both have the same significance. However, void ratio is generally used, which means significance of the void ratio is more compared to porosity. Putting into the simple words, that void ratio is generally preferred than porosity, means E for void ratio has greater significance than porosity. Now the question arises, why it is? Because void ratio talks about the specific, means void ratio tells us about the solids, not the total volume. Here in the porosity, total volume is considered, in which voids are also taken. Hence, the accuracy of the porosity is not that much of the as compared to void ratio. Hence, moving on to the next term, degree of saturation. So guys, why do we need the degree of saturation in the soil? Degree of saturation simply told us how much in percentage the soil is dry, saturated or submerged. That means mathematically degree of saturation is volume of water present in volume of voids, 200. The range of degree of saturation varies from 0 to 100. Here I have put equal to sign, means 0 and 100 both are included. So we must not forget the difference between the ranges of porosity and saturation. And one more thing to note guys, all the ranges I have been writing are very important to remember from the exam point of view, because many of the time in WRD the range of the different terms have been asked. So jumping on the next term, that is air content. Again guys, air content is nothing but the volume of air present in the volume of voids. That is, air content is equals to volume of air present in the volume of voids. The range of the air content is same as the range of the degree of the saturation, because if we see closely, the degree of the saturation and air content are more of a similar terms. Degree of saturation talks about the volume of water present in the voids, and air content talks about the volume of air present in the voids. So their range will also be the same. Next term we will talking about is percentage air content. So guys, percentage air content is nothing but volume of air present in the total volume of the soil. Here in air content we only see the volume of air present in the volume of voids only, but here we are talking about the total volume. That's the only difference, and the range will again will be the same as the previous. Now let's jump on to our next part, which is mass density. So we all know guys, what is density. Density is nothing but mass per unit volume so this basic definition of the density also applies on the soil. So this is mass density simply, and the eighth term will be unit weight. Or simply density or weight density. Therefore weight density is defined by weight per unit volume. So guys, based upon the weight of the soil considered, to find the unit weight of the soil, various types of unit weight can be defined, which are: first, density of solids, which can be defined as weight of solids upon volume of solids. Second will be bulk density, or gamma bulk. It can be defined as weight of moist solids upon volume. Third will be saturated density, means weight of saturated soil mass upon volume. Similarly, fourth will be dry density, which is weight of dry soil upon its volume. And the last will be submerged density, denoted by gamma sub, weight of submerged soil upon volume. So here I have an important formula to tell you guys, that gamma sub is equals to gamma sat minus gamma w. whereas gamma sub, as from the above we can see that it's submerged weight density, gamma sat is saturated weight density, and gamma W is water density. Or the density of the water. So guys, as we have now seen 5 types of different densities of the soil, I have a very important point for you guys to note down, please. This is also a very recently asked question and very frequently asked question. So the question was, which density of the soil will be greater, and the options were gamma S means gamma of solids will be greater than gamma of sat, or gamma of sat will be greater than gamma of solids, or gamma B is greater than gamma sub, and so on. For these guys, here is a point to remember that gamma of solids greater than saturated density, which will be greater than bulk, which will be greater than dry, and lastly submerged. So guys, this is a very important point that we all have to remember by heart. So if we ask the question, which density is greater than the which one, we have to remember this in series. That is, the density of solid is greater than density of saturated soil is greater than bulk density is greater than dry density, and the last one is submerged density. Now let's move on to our next term. Forget the sequence. Next term is specific gravity. So guys, based on whether to consider the voids or not, specific gravity can be defined by two ways. The first way is mass or apparent specific gravity, and the second one is true specific gravity. So basically, what is the difference between these two terms? So guys, first, mass specific gravity. Mass specific gravity simply talks about mass as a whole. Means if we get a volume of soil, the whole volume is considered in mass specific gravity. So mass specific gravity can be gamma bulk upon gamma W or gamma D on gamma W or gamma sub upon gamma W or gamma solids upon gamma W. The mass specific gravity can be any of these, whereas true specific gravity whereas guys talks about only the solids which are present in the soil, not the voids, which means true specific gravity is equals to gamma of solids upon gamma W. So from here we can see that the true specific gravity means true specific gravity which talks about only the solids present in the soil will always be greater than the mass specific gravity. This is also an important point guys to remember. As in mass specific gravity voids are considered, hence is always give the less value as compared to the true specific gravity. Talking about the definition of the specific gravity, if you want to know, specific gravity can be basically be defined as the ratio of the weight of the given volume of solid to the weight of the equivalent volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. This is just a definition guys, we have nothing to do about it. And here another note point to remember, the specific gravity for inorganic soil generally ranges from 2.65 to 2.8. We are talking about the true specific gravity here guys, not the mass specific gravity. Next one is for organic soil. For organic soil guys, the true specific gravity ranges from 1.2 to 1.4. Here the difference can be clearly seen that the specific gravity of the inorganic soils will always be greater than the organic soils. Now let's move on to our next term, which is relative density. So guys, relative density is nothing but it tells us about the denseness of the soil or the type of the soil which we are going to use. With the help of relative density, we can find that the soil we are going to work with is which type of soil, that is, it is loose soil, medium dense soil or very dense soil. Any soil in the field may be further densified or loosened up for the loosest state, that is E max, and for densest state, that is E minimum for the field condition. To express the degree of denseness, we define relative density. So the relative density is basically dependent on the void ratio of the soil. The formula of the relative density can be defined as Emax minus E upon Emax minus E minimum 200. The range, it varies from 0 to 1. Or 100. So basically, from the relative density point of view, we can tell that the soil we are using is what kind of soil. The relative density here, guys, is another a very important point to remember. The formula of the relative density is also very important, as many times question from the direct formula has been asked. That is, in the question we are given with the Emax, E maximum, E minimum, and we have to find the relative density. Or the question may come, they will give us that the relative density of the soil is some value they will give, and we have to find which type of soil is that. Means the soil is loose, medium dense, or very dense. That type of question are asked frequently in the examination. So guys, let's see how can we divide the soil into different by using the relative density values. So guys, according to the different values of the density index, relative density, the soil is divided into actually 5 parts, that is very loose, medium loose, dense, and very dense. It is divided like this. So these are the different values of the relative density that will tell us about the condition of the soil. If the density index varies from 0 to 15, the soil will be very loose. If it varies from 15 to 35%, it comes in the category of loose. From 35 to 65, it is medium dense. From 65 to 85, it comes in the category of dense soil. And from 85 to 100, it is termed as very dense. So guys, that was pretty simple, right? Now I'm going to tell you a technique to remember this thing. so that we can never fail. So guys, first we will write the range that I have written here below, range which vary from 0 to 100. We will first write the range which is 0 to 100. Then we will add 15, means plus 15 here, minus 15 from here. So 0 plus 15 will be 15, 100 minus 15 will be 85. Now we simply add 20 here and we'll subtract 20 from here. The values we will get is 35 and 65. Which is same as above guys, but made simple. So here it was the trick guys. Now we have to go slightly back guys, because I have forget to write you a formula which is very important. Let's note down the formula, which is void ratio is equals to, this is true specific gravity upon apparent specific gravity minus 1. So why I am telling you guys that this formula is very important, because in previous year WRD questions, from this formula 3 questions were asked. 3 questions were asked from only this formula, where we in one question the value of true specific gravity and mass specific gravity were given and we have to find void ratio. And in second question, which I remember, the void ratio and the mass specific gravity were given and we have to find the true specific gravity. And the second note point is the term that we just studied, that is relative index, is only applicable to coarse grain soil, because the void ratio of the fine grain soils are too much uncertain. That means it can change frequently and we cannot tell a perfect value for it. Hence the term relative index is only applicable for coarse grain soil. Here second note point, ID is used for coarse soils.